Welcome back to the show. She calls herself the generosity expert and the donation defender. Sharon Lipinski founded Change Gangs, virtual giving circles. She says you need to make sure you donate to a reputable charity. Well, Sharon, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Delighted to be here.
We're going to talk specifically about giving to charities that are for veterans and so forth. And there's a lot of stuff out there, especially on the internet these days. And so, what do we need to know about donating to organizations that support veterans?
Well, like anybody going through difficult economic times, and veterans have some serious challenges. They make up 11% of the homeless, even though they're only 1% of the population. They have a higher than normal unemployment rate, so they need services like housing and job training. But in addition to that, they have some mental health challenges due to the nature of their service. So I like to look for charities that are providing some mental health care, reestablishing a sense of camaraderie, community. So either doing that as a standalone or in addition to some sort of comprehensive economic assistance.
I see you have some props here. Do you want to tell me what you have?
Sure. Well, you know, one thing that I think people don't realize is that by and large the military does not allow people to does not allow their members to fundraise while in uniform, and they do that because they know that the uniform implies an endorsement of the charity, and they really don't want that responsibility. So if you see somebody in a uniform soliciting for donations, be a little extra cautious to make sure that it is legitimate, because you can buy a uniform just like this on eBay for less than $50.
Wow.
Now, my husband, who's in the Army, can tell you when the insignia and the ranks and all the patches aren't matching, but I can't tell the difference, and I think most people probably can't.
I think this would be something that would lead people to make a donation. If somebody shows up, right, it looks official, and you sort of sympathize when you see this. So you have to be cautious of that. That's interesting.
You have to be cautious because your donation is so needed. There's so much need among our veterans, so you should give. But that donation only makes a difference if it actually gets to veterans. So be cautious of the uniform to make sure that it is legitimate and somebody's not just using the authority of the uniform to get what they want.
So what should you do if somebody does show up at your door and, you know, they have a U.S. Army uniform like this? And you're not really sure, how do you know, or what do you do? Just maybe reach out and find another organization that you know you're certain about is legitimate, and just be kind and say thank you, but no thank you when they show up at the door?
Well, these gentlemen who you were talking with can probably give you a better idea, but I don't think anybody in a uniform is going to be showing up at your door to ask for a donation. But you can ask to speak with their commanding officer to verify it. You can get some information and then donate later, which brings you to another thing, that often when you see something like this, they're also soliciting for donations in cash. Now, cash donations you have to be very careful with because cash can't be tracked. These donation jars can be lost, they can be stolen, money can just be taken from them. Sometimes they can even be fake. Now, there was a man in Lansing, Michigan. He was putting out fake Donate to Missing Children jars, and he was collecting nearly $2,000 a month in these jars.
Wow. And where was he setting these jars at?
Just in local convenience
Public
shops.
locations?
So don't donate in cash, and just do check or credit card.
Wow, that is really interesting. And again, I mean, you see these things all the time.
Yeah.
So, and oftentimes, you know, you give to them without even really thinking about it, I suppose, right?
Yeah, well, I think we underestimate our donations. You know, we want to help, but we don't have a lot of time or money to spend on it, and so we just give and we hope it's going to make a difference. And your donation is incredibly important, and it will make a difference, but you can't just throw it at a charity and hope it's going to do something.
So is there a database that I can go to if I want to find a good charity for veterans that's legitimate? What do I do?
Well, there are wonderful online resources available today. You know, GuideStar, GiveWell, Philanthropedia, lots of wonderful sources, and I actually put together a guide called the 4-Level Charity Evaluation System. And so you can use this, you can quickly, confidently evaluate any charity. It doesn't matter the size, the topic, you can use it, and your viewers can download it at livinggenerouslyeveryday.com.
And this is your site, and so you've researched this for them, and it's laid out sort of on a silver platter here.
Yeah, because I've been researching charities now for over 3 years, and I've distilled it down into a system. Like, if you want to know, if you want to feel confident about where your donation is going and what it's going to be used for, you have to do a little research first, and if you follow this system, you're going to feel great.
That is just excellent information because we, like I said, we sympathize for those that are serving our country and oftentimes see these sort of things, but it's always important to just make sure that you're donating to something that's legitimate. And you've helped people with that by putting all of this data on your website, making it very simple for them to make a very good decision. Mm-hmm. So that's great. Any other advice that you have?
Well, I would say that the best way to make donations is to create a donation team. Like, you don't want to do this alone because it takes time to research charities and it takes time to know the topic that you're interested in. So find a group of people who care about the same cause that you care about. Pool your donations. So now instead of donating $25, you're going to be donating $1,000. And you pool your time. So who can research this charity this month? Who can do a presentation on veterans in our community? And the more you know about the charities and the more you know about your topic, the better you are going to be able to do with your donations.
Sharon Lipinski, great information. Thank you so much for being on the show. That should be very helpful to you as you give this holiday season. Several Metro Atlanta businesses also will honor military veterans with all sorts of freebies. And we talk to business owners about their commitment to those serving in the military. You're going to love this next segment coming up right after the break on Public Affairs on Peach.